Hello, everyone. I'm David Platts, the Executive Director of the South Carolina Arts Commission, and I'm here today to talk with you, the superintendents of the state and instructional leaders in the state of South Carolina, about the partnership that is going on between the South Carolina Department of Education and the South Carolina Arts Commission. I would say that a partnership between these two organizations is a partnership with you. And I'm specifically here to talk with you about ESSER III funding and how it relates to the plans that many of you are working on in preparation to submit to the Department of Education later in August. This partnership that we have with the Department of Education, we have specifically named as Arts Grow SC, Learning in and Through the Arts. Today, I'm going to be sharing some information that we have, along with offering some tips and advice for how you might prepare to partner with us and your funds that you can use specifically towards arts and arts learning. So when you hear the term Arts Grow SC, I want you to think about that that's the partnership between the Department of Ed, South Carolina Arts Commission, and specifically your school district, and the ways that we can work with students after school, during the school day, and in the summer to support their learning. So there's a couple of ways that we actually fit directly into the legislation, and you may need to cite this information in your plan. So I want you to keep these things in mind moving forward. One is address learning loss through evidence-based interventions that respond to students' academic, social, and emotional needs. And I will give you some examples of those and how to find them on the next slide. Second, activities to address the unique needs of low-income children or students, children with disabilities, English learners, racial and ethnic minorities, students experiencing homelessness, and foster care youth, including how to outreach and service delivery will meet the needs of each population. And then third, planning and implementing activities related to summer learning and supplemental after-school programs. So those are specific ways that came through the legislation that connect directly to the arts and learning in and through the arts to support all curriculum areas. So here's that evidence-based research that I was telling you about, and I'm going to share with you a couple of websites that you can have at your fingertips that help you locate this evidence-based research that's then easy for you to be able to copy and paste directly into your plan when it comes to needing that particular evidence to show that what you're embarking on is indeed steeped in research and has evidence that relates to students' learning. So right now, the way that you can actually access this particular page that has all of this research listed is through abcprojectsc.com/ESSER3. If you just Google the ABC Project in South Carolina, it will take you to their homepage, and at the top there's a button that says ESSER3. Click on that, and it will take you directly to this evidence-based research that we're talking about right now, that you are able to identify multiple ways that it's steeped in research and connects to student learning loss and student learning. But coming very soon in August, we are working now to expand and create artsgrowsc.com. So pretty soon, you can still find it through the ABC Project website, but you'll be looking now in August for artsgrowsc.com. The evidence will remain there, that research that I'm talking about, but coming along in the future, there will be opportunities for grants. There will be opportunities for programs and where they're expanding. There will be opportunities for you to receive updates and to connect through an email list so that you're notified when things are placed onto this particular website. So I encourage you to bookmark artsgrowsc.com along with abcprojectsc.com, and you can include that /ESSER3 if you want to make sure you go directly to it. These are evidence-based resources that support using your ESSER III funds to engage arts programming that makes accelerated learning a reality for your students. So here are a few tips. Include the arts across multiple narratives. So what I mean by that is you will be providing, particular ways that you plan on funding programming or support for your students, for your staff, as they are looking to expand ways that they can address this learning loss. And we want to make sure that you think about the arts when you go into this. So it will obviously address language arts. It's obviously going to address math, STEM. I would encourage you to make that into STEAM. Include that A so that the arts are also included. You can include that in your professional learning development plans, include it in your supplies and materials, anything that you would also include. You also include the arts there as well. So if you're including it for English language arts, or you're including it for math and science or other areas, you can also just add the word arts there. You want to include it in the arts in your spending plan and budget. So you're going to have not only this narrative that you talk about, you're also going to have specifically a budget that you develop. Just make sure that the arts are included there as well. You want to cite the research. That research is listed on the websites that I mentioned to you earlier. Make sure that you have those bookmarks so that you can get to them. And then finally, be appropriately non-specific. You don't have to specifically name an artist that you want to work with for a residency program. You just have to say that you want to have artists in residence, that you want to have professional learning. It doesn't have to be a title of a workshop specifically. So you just list there that that's what the plan is, and don't worry about those details. You can, we can help you figure out those details later. So what categories in your spending plan can you actually drop this into? So you may have heard the State Department talk about buckets, the buckets that the money will fit into that specifically address a variety of needs. So we've identified 5 of them that we feel are strong connections, 5 buckets that are strong connections to your particular planning. And those are the bucket that is titled Addressing Learning Loss, the one that is titled Activities to Address the Unique Needs of Students, the bucket that's titled Purchase of Educational Technology, and 4th, Summer Learning and Supplemental After-School Programs, and finally, Other Activities. So look for those areas and make sure that that funds and narrative include the arts in those particular buckets. So here are some in-school examples where you can connect directly. So in professional learning, we talked a little bit about that being a bucket that you could make sure you provide funds. That professional learning can happen for a variety of individuals in your building, your teachers. So it can be for your arts teachers, those teachers that actually teach music, that teach art, theater, or dance. It can also, though, be for your core content teachers, those who might teach 2nd grade or 6th grade or 9th grade science or high school English. So core content teachers are also available to come to professional learning, along with your academic coaches and your administration. Another example is your Artist in Residence program. I talked a little bit about that earlier and how you can connect with an artist. You can provide that opportunity in your arts classroom. It can be in your music classroom or your theater classroom, but it also can be in your general education classroom as they work towards arts integration, using the arts in, with, and through in order to teach all curriculum areas. You can include it for art supplies that help teachers address that learning loss, the COVID-related materials, the technology and the software, and the facility upgrades specifically that you may need. We're not building buildings, have to be real clear about that. This is not to build a theater. However, if there are changes that you need to make in a theater in order to address some of those COVID-related ideas that have come along, to make sure that children are safe, that the community is safe as they come in and are in your auditorium. We can help with that. So you can identify funding specifically in your ESSER 3 plan that relates towards supporting those kinds of ideas, along with partnerships with your local arts providers. And I'm going to define what I mean by local arts providers in just a moment. Those can go towards supporting performances, whether that's in your school or whether it's a field trip to a museum that might support some learning that you have planned for summer or after school. Supplemental arts and arts integration materials, so inside other classrooms, supplies and materials that will support arts integration and the learning that students have there in other curriculum areas. So let's talk a little bit now about those arts providers. So partnerships with your local arts providers and community organizations to develop arts-based before and after school programs. So that might be in a community center that has an artist that's teaching after school programs. It might be in your library where there's a storytelling artist that's there that's going to work with students as they write their own stories through creative writing or poetry. It might be your arts council in your area that has a summer camp or a day camp on a weekend. It might be through an arts organization like an art museum that's offering education in visual art that's specific for students to be able to come and learn while they're there, or higher education that's offering summer programs for students in the arts or after school. So that's what I mean by local arts providers. They come in a lot of different ways. A lot of times people think when I say arts providers that I'm just talking about the art museum, or I'm just talking about a symphony, or I'm just talking about your dance company in your area. Arts providers come in a lot of different fashions. They can come through a community center. They can come through a library that they're providing arts opportunities there. So I want to make sure that you understand what I mean by a local arts provider. Next, Arts Integrated Summer Read to Succeed camps. That's professional learning that's available through the Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities. Some of these programs exist already, but we're looking at ways that we can expand those opportunities and replicate what's been really successful in this particular program. And then finally, activating teaching artists and arts providers for extended learning that might be after school, summer, or on Saturdays. So I hope that helps you. I hope you have a better understanding. I hope that you know that we're in partnership with you, that you don't hesitate to reach out to us. One thing I neglected to mention that I do want to mention is that as you're thinking about an artist that you might use, I want you to know that the South Carolina Arts Commission keeps an artist directory. You can simply navigate to our website and type in keyword directory, and it will take you to our artist directory. There you will find artists throughout the state and describing their discipline, where they're located in the areas that they serve, along with categories for teaching artists, certified teaching artists. These are artists who already have experience in schools. These are artists that relate to a particular discipline, and then on that particular artist directory site, you can find specific testimony from other schools that have actually worked with these artists that will speak to a little bit about how they might have used this artist in their school. So I want to make sure that you know that that exists as well. We will be continuing to support you, to support this partnership that is ArtsGrow SC. We look forward to this opportunity, and we are happy and able and willing to help you as you plan for using your funds moving forward with ESSER 3 funding. Please make sure that you bookmark abcprojectsc.com, and then shortly thereafter, you will find artsgrowsc.com, where you'll find other very important, relevant information as we all work together to provide learning for our students across the state of South Carolina. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.